another edition of Community Driven, where we are coming to you from our grand studios at 5200 Oaklawn Boulevard in North Prince George. I am here with Mr. Michael Harlow of Live Red and excited to bring him to you today. We're so excited about to hear about what he's doing in the Richmond area. So thank you, Michael, for being here with us today. Thank you for sharing your time, and excited to hear about what you're doing in our community. Thank you again so much for being here.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell us, tell our viewers about you. So we're a little south of Richmond, and you're in Richmond proper. So probably not many of our customers, our viewers, are going to know a whole lot about you and what you do. So tell us about what's going on with Live Red.
Yeah, certainly. So I'll kind of go back to how I got into founding Live Red and what we're doing today. So I've been a coach for 20 years. I started a coaching organization called Endorphin Fitness back in 2005, right out of college. Awesome. And through Endorphin Fitness, we work with adults and kids specifically for endurance sports. Mm-hmm. But in 2018, I was really struck with the impact that program was having on kids specifically, but also struck with the fact that we were only working with a certain demographic. Mm-hmm. So there were these great skills that are learned through sport, through fitness, and that I wanted to take to other communities and to allow it to empower all kids.
Yeah.
And so that was really the catalyst behind Live Red Foundation. And so I started Live Red Foundation in 2018 with the mission to empower all kids. We do that through providing a free fitness program that teaches life skills to these children. All of the children we work with are in Richmond's lowest opportunity neighborhoods. And so there's an organization, a national database called diversitydatakids.org. They created a opportunity score for every census tract, every neighborhood across the whole country. Wow. And in the city of Richmond, we have 22 neighborhoods that have an opportunity score of less than 10. Less than 10.
From 0 to 100?
0 to 100. 100 would be the most opportunity possible. We have neighborhoods in the west end of Richmond and surrounding Tri-Cities that are in the 90s. Wow. But then we have a lot of neighborhoods that have a score of less than 10.
Wow.
And so these are the neighborhoods we really focus on. Mm-hmm. We provide those kids an opportunity to go out, learn about fitness, some green space that they can enjoy the outdoors and get additional experiences in their lives. And then we use those experiences and that time with them to teach them various life skills as well. Things like goal setting and mindfulness and being able to take positive risks, but make great decisions in the moment. And so that's what we do. We largely fundraise for that through a variety of different events. So you heard kind of my background with my other organization is triathlon and endurance type sports. So utilize that to be a fundraising vehicle for Live Red Foundation. And so through Live Red Foundation, we provide about 10 different events, running events, multi-sport events, triathlon events. And those act as our major fundraisers for our program. So a lot of people know us from the event side, but they know that we're doing that fundraising. Some people know us from the program side of what we do.
That's neat. That's truly amazing. So you said you started this, you graduated 2005 from where'd you go to school?
So graduated in 2004, started working on the business right away, and then founded it. Our first day of operations was January of 2005. Okay. Graduated from the University of Richmond. I've been here my whole life.
So. Okay, so you're native, born and bred.
You got it. You got it.
That's awesome. And so about how many children are y'all impacting?
Yeah, it's a great question. So What we usually refer to as how many participants. The reason we say that is because we don't have an accurate count of how many repeat kids we have from program to program.
Yeah.
But in 2023, we worked with 9,000 participants. So we had 9,000 participants in the 22 lowest opportunity neighborhoods go through our program. Again, some of those were repeat kids that came to multiple programs, but over 9,000. So starting from just one program, working with 20 kids 5 years ago, to now being in all 22 of those neighborhoods and having the reach that we do with these kids, it's really an awesome thing that we're really excited about.
And it's not just about the kids too. I mean, when you're impacting the kids, you're impacting the whole home. So yeah, it's maybe 9,000 participants, but I mean, you can at least double that, if not more, in the impact that you're having in their families,
Certainly. And I appreciate you recognizing that, because we do talk, especially to like donors, about you're not only you're impacting kids, but you're also impacting communities.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's what you're given to. So
yeah,
absolutely.
That's amazing. So what was it that really like drew you to that? So, I understand the draw of sports and coaching. I was a soccer player, and I've coached soccer for 20 years after playing. But it's different, that draw to particularly help people who just don't have the advantages that some other people have. What was it that drew you to that in particular?
Yeah, so I started Endorphin Fitness because I had a passion for working with kids, and what I've always said there is I'm trying to get at life change. I'm trying to impact lives, and triathlon endurance sports are just my vehicle. Yeah. Fitness is just the vehicle to do that. Really, what I'm trying to do is create that catalyst for life change. And so that's always been my driver. That's always been my motivator. Kids specifically have been the biggest driver for me. It's what I've enjoyed coaching and really motivated me the most. And so it was just kind of welled up in me that I want to be able to offer that to all children. It should not be limited to only someone who can pay for it or travel to it. And though that travel is the big barrier to entry, we were like, we got to take these programs to these neighborhoods. We've got to take these programs to these kids and not ask them to necessarily come to us. And so
you're actually going into the neighborhoods.
Absolutely. 100%. So every day during the school year from about 3 to 6 p.m., we've got multiple programs at various neighborhoods within or various sites within the neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And then over the summer, we're like all day, just programs all day. We do a lot through like Richmond Parks and Rec and through the school system, all kinds of programs that we have there as well. What we do, and that's a great kind of lead into this. What we do is we knew that we couldn't just like walk down the street and be like, hey, come join our program. That wouldn't work. And so instead we find other nonprofit schools, other programs that are in these communities and serve in these communities. And we come alongside them. We say, hey, if you can give us an hour, 2 hours of your kids' time, not only will we be able to get them introduced to fitness, be able to teach them these life skills, we'll also give you a little bit of a break in your day, whether it be from tutoring or what have you. And so we partner with other programs that are out there, and that's how we've been able to reach so many kids so quickly.
Yeah. And it's interesting. So I used to be a school teacher. I taught 8th grade math for 8 years.
Oh, fantastic!
Out in Buckingham County, and that impact that you get to have in the life of a child is so different than the impact. If you're helping somebody who's an adult who's been through things. They're growing up. They're on their own. The impact as a coach, as a mentor in that child's life is, I mean, I had, now that I'm here at the car dealership, I've had students that I taught 15 years ago, 20 yey ago, that every once in a while, even though I'm 2 hours away from where I taught, they'll come in and buy a car and get to sit down and talk and see that progression. What is that like to know that you are having a true lasting impact in the life of these children?
It's everything. I mean, that's why I started coaching 20 years ago, was for that exact reason. And it's been real special. I've seen a lot of my athletes go on to get married. I've hired several of my athletes. Like, to be able to see them move through various stages of their lives is just an honor. So it's always been about kids. And you mentioned it's just so rewarding because it's such a formative time of their life, and you truly can have this impact. I train a lot of new coaches as well. And in that process, I just say, if you're in this, you need to make sure you're in it for the right reason. Because it's not just to get kids faster or fitter or whatever. You're in it to have a role in their life, and it's a gift if you recognize it and you're willing to jump on that. So absolutely. That's what it's always been about.
Now, you keep saying we. I like that, to hear a leader of an organization keep saying we. Tell me about your team. Tell me about the people that are with you, that are helping you get this accomplished.
Yeah, we're a small team. I mean, it's crazy what all we do, but we're a small team. So we have, I would say, 4 semi full-time people. It's kind of a blend between part-time and full-time, but they're our main leadership. Anywhere from like our program coordinator to our assistant race director, to our volunteer coordinator, and like our kind of logistics time. She does a lot. Our timer for a lot of our events, but also she takes a lot of new projects and spearheads them all the way through. And so that's our main team, including myself as well. And then we're constantly hiring coaches to be able to run our different programs that report to our program coordinator. And so, depending on the season of where we're in at that point and how many programs we have a team of coaches that are executing those programs out in the community.
That's awesome. So tell us what a typical program looks like when you go out into the community. What does that look like?
Yeah. So typically we'll bring the kids together. We might get a little bit of energy out from the day to start, and then we'll bring them around. We'll talk about the life skill of the day and what that main goal is. Usually we ask the coach to give an example from their own life about how that's impacted their life or how they've utilized this in their life. Then we have a standard warm up that we take the kids through. And then the main activity of the day that you could look at that as like the main set or the main workout of the day. Now we try to bring a lot of fun and games into that. So it's not like they're just like going out and working super, super hard, but we're teaching through that. And so the game, the activities will always point back to that life skill and what we're really trying to get across. And then at the end, we come back and we have a uniform kind of closing, stretching, all that, and conversation at the end, again, looping back in that life skill as well.
I'm sure that I'm not the only one. For me, I learn best through movement. Like that's how I'm a very kinesthetic learner. So to add that piece in, that you're using not only the movement and the sports, but the life skill of the day. I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. Give us an example of like a life skill of the day that y'all might go, Go
Yeah,
over.
yeah. So we got eight different life skills that we utilize. So anything from like setting goals to empathy, self belief, mindfulness, self control, positive risk taking, teaching them how to take risks, but in a positive way that's healthy. Resilience, so key for kids these
Oh yeah,
days.
absolutely.
And then honesty as well. So those are our 8 core life skills that we instill throughout the course of a program.
Michael, that's amazing. I mean, that y'all are going into these communities and helping people, and the impact and the life skills. That's amazing. It truly is.
Well, that means a lot. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's hard work, and it's great to have these conversations because you sit back and you realize the things that are being done, and
Yeah.
it's meaningful. So instead of daily just getting it done.
Now, are you looking for volunteers? Can people come and volunteer and help out with things?
Yeah, so something we've incorporated this year, which has been really successful, but it's still very new, is we're inviting volunteers for the first time to participate in the program. So in the past, we've always had staff and coaches who are participating, but we've had a lot of success with like volunteers, someone who maybe has some flexibility with their job and gets off a little bit early and can come out and they want to invest in their community and in the community's kids. Or maybe it's a retiree that is really into fitness and wants to give back to kids. So those are perfect people. I also mentioned school teachers. If you're not exhausted already from your day and you want to give an hour or two one day a week at a program, that's just a huge blessing for us. So we are absolutely looking for volunteers that want to get involved with the programs. And then during the course of a given year, we typically have about 350 volunteers that participate and help with our events. And so we have events usually about once a month. We just released our 2025 calendar. Some of these events are events like the East Coast Triathlon Festival, which is one of the largest youth triathlon festivals in the country. There are also adult races at that event as well. Or what's coming up on November 3rd is the Regency Mile. That's the last race on our series. We usually have about 600, 700 kids and adults participate in the mile. It's a mile race around Regency Mile. And it's a really big community event. We have a big partnership with a lot of the area schools, and based on a participation contest that we have on how many kids they can kind of get out there that day, we give a lot of donations back to the area PE departments of those schools. And so that's kind of part of one of the things we're doing to kind of give back locally as well.
Now, y'all have a big event coming up, correct?
That's the Regency Mile. That's the one we're talking about.
That's the one you're talking about. Okay. So that's your big, and tell us when that is again.
So that's November 3rd.
November 3rd.
November 3rd. If you check it out at livered.org, our website, click on events, go to the Regency Mile, and you'll see all the information about that. But it's a mile running race for kids as well as adults. We have anywhere from elite runners, whether it be the top high school runners in the area, or adults who race in that category. And then we have an individual race for each age group, all the way from adults all the way down to 3, 4, 5-year-olds out there running. So it's a really cool, fun event at Regency.
Getting them started early.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. That's awesome, man. This is great. This is even more than I realized how much you were doing, and hearing about you. As soon as I heard about what you were doing, I said, man, I want to talk to this guy. This sounds really, really cool. But I'm blown away even more so than what I realized I would be by hearing all the stuff that you're doing. It truly is amazing. And
well, that really means a lot. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support.
So a couple questions for you. I got 3 questions for you. All right. So me personally, I'm into developing myself and growing personally, whether it's growing in a passion, growing in how I impact the world around me, growing as a father, husband, all those types of things. You in your life, you obviously have are successful and have been have do a lot of impact in the world, and you have I'm sure you've been impacted by others. Do you have a book or any kind of or multiple books that you would say have impacted you more than anything else, more than other books?
Well, so I read a lot. I listen a lot.
Yeah,
I
I
like
listen
Audible.
yeah, I used to read, now I listen.
Yeah. I'm constantly, I think what's driving me the most is exactly what you're saying, to be the best husband and father that I can be. I have 7 kids at home, so
Wow.
that's really heavy on my mind.
Yeah.
And so they're two, I'll tell you 2 of my favorite books right now. And so one is, I love Bob Goff. Love Does is probably my favorite. It's a bunch of little short stories. He's an amazing storyteller, but just talking about how to love others well.
Yeah.
And he does that in a great way, and love others like this book, like Jesus would want to show love. And so that's that book's amazing. I encourage it. He's written several books, but that was the first one.
Yeah.
And then I've read another book, Just to Be the Best Husband I Could Possibly Be, which what radical husbands do. And if I recommend it for any husband out there who wants to be a better husband for his wife.
Awesome.
So those are what's come first fresh to my mind. It might not be what you're looking for, but
that's great. That's perfect.
They've had the biggest impact on me over the last year or 2.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's wonderful. It's because it's not just about business, about life. It's about bettering yourself, and the most important or top up there is your faith, but then your family, your how you reach the you start right there with your spouse and with your kids. And so no, that's amazing. That's awesome. All right, second question for you. So you got the whole world is paying attention to Michael Harlow, and you've got a minute to give them the best advice that you could possibly give them. So you got 1 minute. What would you say to the world?
Whoa, that's a big one. So for me, I kind of point back to what I said in that just a second ago with that book that impacted me the most is, I think we're called to love God and love others, and in a way that can make everlasting impact. And that's all I'm trying to do with my businesses, and whether it be my for-profit business or nonprofit. I'm just trying to love on people correctly in a way that leaves a long-standing impact in their life. And I do it well sometimes, and I don't do it well in a lot of other times. So I think if we all just could have that mindset, I think that it would revolutionize the way we exist, and the way we treat others. So
100%. Love God, love others, man. That's awesome. That's great. All right, last question. This is probably the most important question. What's your dream car?
My dream car. Well, I grew up a Chevy man, so I do. I'm sorry. I do drive a Tundra at the moment.
That's all right.
I got a good deal on it.
You said, you don't always do right. So
yeah, that's right. But it's a truck, and quite honestly, it'd be a beautiful Chevy truck. So
awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. And actually, I say that Live Red Foundation drives a dually what we tow all of our trailers around
Oh, wow.
is a big dually Chevy Silverado.
That's
So
awesome. That's awesome.
so yeah, so that's our
Well,
main vehicle. That's the only vehicle under Live Red Foundation, actually.
that's cool. That's great. Now, I do want to end with this one last question because I forgot to ask you this, and you may have mentioned it, and I may have missed it. But where does Live Red come from? Where does that name?
Yeah, great question, and a little bit confusing. But I was pointing to its roots when I said that, and you have to understand. So back in Endorphin Fitness, our charge was to be more Live Red for all the years, still is. So be more Live Red. And what it meant by that is give everything you can to the sport to get the very most out of it, but then allow it to permeate the rest of your life. Allow it to make you a better husband, a better father, a better student, a better employee, a better boss. Allow what you're learning in the sport to do that. Yeah. And so that's essentially what we're doing at Live Red Foundation is we were taking years of kind of expertise that had been developed in coaching kids and adults, and we were taking it to new communities. So we had given everything we could to this, and now we're taking it to new communities. But we're also teaching those communities through fitness to learn how to be better people. Right. And so it doesn't make sense to the outside, but it makes a lot of sense internally, the name. And so that's how it came about. That's how we utilize it. That's what makes it special to us. So.
And this is truly amazing. I'm so glad that you took the time to meet with us and that I could share. We could share you with our viewers and people who don't know you, because I mean, you've been doing this for years, and I just heard about you just a couple weeks ago. So to be able to bring this this information to our viewers and our people here in the Tri-Cities, and to show them what is going on in Richmond and the surrounding areas, and the impact that you're having is amazing. I'm so thankful for you for doing all that you do. So thank you for being here, man.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, everybody. This concludes the this version of Community Driven. We are so thankful for Michael Harlow and for Live Red and for all that they do in our community. Thank you so much for being here.